everyone, I'm Jeff Stanley with Standley Handcrafted, and today we're going to be introducing and wicking and basically going over a new jar that I just got. And the jar that I just got in is the Lavana from Dream Vessels. I've talked about Dream Vessels a lot on here. They're very new into the candle game, the container game. Really unique vessels that you're not going to find on a lot of the other candle sites, Candle Science, Lone Star, anything like that. Definitely a step in a different direction from the standard jelly jars and stuff like that. I've had them on the videos many times and a lot of people really like them. So I had been wanting these ones for a while and finally picked some up. And the Lavana, now the Lavana comes in a two-piece set. It's the base and the topper. I'm not even sure what you call this, but it's a two-piece candle container. It holds right around 11 to 12 ounces and they're on sale right now. They run typically around $85.90, which breaks down to about $7.16 per container. I picked them up on sale. I believe it was like $38, $39, something like that, which takes the vessels down to about $3.25, somewhere in there, which is a freaking steal on these things. The price on these definitely goes way up, but the good thing about these is they really scream for a higher price. The one thing I like about them is, like with the jelly jars or something like that, you can only charge so much. I've seen those go for as much as $20 to $25 for a jelly jar, but a lot of people aren't gonna pay that for the jelly jar just because so many people, you can get those anywhere. It's really hard to ask that kind of a high price. With these Lavanas, even if you were to pick them up at $85.90, I still don't mind doing that for a vessel like this just because it's really unique. You're not gonna find it anywhere. And it just screams a little bit more elegant than some of the containers that are out there. So even if you're paying $7.16 or whatever it was for the container itself, you're gonna add wicks, wax, fragrance oil. You're still gonna be looking at less than $10 to put this together. And if it's over that, it's gonna be pennies on the dollar. So maybe 11, depending on what kind of fragrance oil you're using and what kind of wax you're using. But with a container like this, you can ask, you'd be more than safe putting a $25, $30 price tag on this minimum. I've seen them go for a little bit more than that. I don't know how well they sell because I haven't started selling them yet, but you could put a $25 price tag on this thing and it would sell no problem, which still leaves your profit margin really high. So if you're putting $10 into this, you're selling it for 25, you got a profit of 15 there. I mean, that's really good for a candle like this. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and run out. I've got some wax melting right now. We're gonna be testing a few different wicks in this one just to see what kind of fits and what works in this one. So I'm hoping we can nail it down. This one, I've got it right here. The dimensions on this are 4 by 5.7, and the inner diameter is right at, it's 2.99 inches, so right at 3 inches. And right at the 3-inch mark is kind of a tough one to wick just because it borders right on the line of one of the bigger wicks like the HTP 1212, the 126, and then it's just like 3.25 is usually when you want to start double wicking. So a lot like the straight black tumblers that I've got, these are a little bit tougher to wick, so we're gonna go ahead and try a few different ones in these and kind of see what we can come up with. All right, now you can see if I can get this a little darker in there. That is the HTP 1212 inside the Lavana. It's about halfway down. The melt pool is actually perfect with this wick, but you can see the flame is pretty big and it's leaving some soot along the top right there. Let me see if I can focus that in. So the wick works well, but it does get a little big. I went ahead and took out that HTP 1212 and I added a medium wood wick from Lone Star. So I'm gonna see how that one does. All right, so you can see the medium wood wick. This is about 2 hours into the burn. The melt pool doesn't quite get to the side. I don't have a large wood wick, but I think the large wood wick would fit perfectly in that. And there's no soot. The soot, that's from the 1212. So there's no soot from that. There's no smoke coming off of that. And then one last wick combination. I'm gonna go ahead and smooth that out, but I've got 2 HTP 73s in there. Now this container, Shouldn't really need a double wick, but I put 2 really small ones in there, and I'm gonna see how well it does. All right, we'll let that sit for a little bit and see what kind of melt pool we get out of that. All right, so that is the dual HTP 73. Go ahead and blow those out. You can see the wax on the side right there. This is about 2 hours. The melt pool is decent. If it went to 3 hours to 4 hours, it'd probably get a little bit bigger than it should, but actually not too bad. 2 HTP 73s. You could probably wick down and you'd actually be pretty good with duals. Okay, so that was pretty much it. We didn't find the correct wick for that one. I like the 1212 in this one. It burns a little hot, and I think if you trim the wick, you're gonna get a pretty good burn out of that one. The only problem I see with that one and going with the 1212 is you're gonna wanna monitor that. I think if you were to accidentally let that burn for 5-6 hours, I think you'd get a pretty big flame on that. I would definitely worry about it. Not to the point where it's gonna burn anything down, but I think it would be a really high flame, and you would definitely get some soot as it gets further down the candle, because as it gets further down the candle, it's really gonna heat up the side of that glass and it's gonna create an even bigger melt pool. So the 1212 worked, but it was one that I would definitely watch all the way down. The next one I put in there was the HTP 105. The 105 didn't do well at all. Definitely go up from that. I do want to try the 126. I'm going to try that one over the next week or two to see if that one does any better. The 126 is a little bit bigger than the 105, so I'm hoping that will get at least a little bit further to the edges of the container. Now the medium wood wick was real promising to me. I like that one a lot. I think the large wood wick in that one would actually be perfect. I didn't have any here, otherwise I would have tried that one. I've got some coming in, so I might do a follow-up on this one when I actually get it wicked to, not really perfectly, but to the point where I would actually put it on the shelf and sell it. I think the large wood wick would hit edge to edge, and it's not going to be overpowering, kind of like the 1212 was. Now the 2 HTP 73s, they were the only ones that worked out of this kind of whole test, but I still wouldn't put those in there. Like I was showing you in the video, it went edge to edge. There was a little bit around the side that it still didn't hit, but that would definitely get melted as it went further down the container. But again, it was at almost a perfect melt pool at 2 hours. So I think if that thing went to 3 and to 4 hours, I think you'd end up with a little bit bigger melt pool than you want, which is ultimately just going to burn through the candle a lot faster. So all in all, I do like these Lavanas a lot. There's a new shipment of these coming in. I'd like to get some black and silver ones. They were out by the time I got these. I definitely like the teal ones. Teal turquoise is definitely one of my favorite colors, but the black and silver they look really elegant. So I definitely want to get some of those and put those in my lineup. And again, just waiting for the new shipment to come in, and I'm gonna have to grab some quick because they go so fast. But the Lavana is a very nice container. If you haven't tried these out, I would definitely say to get some. I'll be back with a follow-up video to show it. Basically, I want to try a couple different wicks also. I've got some hemp wicks that are coming in, and I've also got some LX wicks that I want to try in these as well. So that's pretty much it. I left a link to Dream Vessels in the comment section down below to these Lavanas and to some of the other ones, and I've done quite a few of their containers. The Zens are a really nice container, the Maraca, and I've got these here too, which I actually like quite a bit. And see, I can order these. I ordered these in the exact same color. So if you have any questions about the Lavana, please let me know. I know Natalie is in the DIY Facebook group, and she answers a lot of questions in there. So if you have specific questions for her, I've included a link to the Dream Vessels group as well. There's a lot of people in there specifically talking about Dream Vessels. So if you want to go there to get just direct answers from people who are already wicking these and have been wicking them since they came out, that's a good place to go. You can also come over to the DIY Facebook group that I created. It's up to 11,500 members now, so there are a lot of ongoing discussions. So please jump into that one, introduce yourself if you're not in there already. And of course, you can follow me on all the social media platforms I listed down below: Instagram, Facebook, the website, Snapchat, everything is down there. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and thank you for watching.